So before each one of my classes, as far as the beginners go, we go through, we have our beginners class, we have our defensive pistol 1 beginner, and then we have another class that's coming up that is CCW tactics and skills. And every time I start a class, I try to take at least 45 minutes to explain or to ask, because the way I teach, right, I kind of like to teach on a Socratic type of method of teaching, which means I like to ask questions and hear your response. So one of the questions that I ask is, why are you here? Why do you have your CCW? Because I don't certify in CCW. That's not my thing. I like to teach the skill of it. I want people to come to me for training after that. Don't just, not just to get your CCW permit and just go and carry it without training. We want you to train. But regardless, the first thing that we teach in each one of those classes is mindset. And so one of the first questions that I ask is, why do you have your CCW? And the usual response is, oh, I want to protect myself. That's great. It should be to protect yourself, your family, and your business, really. And if it's in your business, you don't really need a CCW. But regardless, I digress on that. The next question is, are you prepared to use it? Now, we all know that, having a gun is the last tool, or it's just a tool, and it's the last resort that you ever want to use in a defensive situation. Should be the last resort. So, when we talk about that, we talk about, hey, you know what? Are you ready to unalive somebody? Are you ready to defend yourself to stop the threat? Now, when I say unalive, hey, it could mean anything. It could mean, just stopping the threat, injuring him to where he won't, he or she won't bother you, or won't attack you, or you stop the attack. Or you could just wind up just unaliving that person. That could be another way. Either way, you have to be prepared for something like that. The other thing you have to be prepared for is when you pull that firearm, right, you can't fire off warning shots. It's illegal. 2, it's a dumb move, right? So you have to be prepared to use it. And when you're prepared to use it, it's got to be in an imminent threat situation. Your life is in danger no matter what, right? And you have that as your last resort. You have to pull it. You can't, and if that, God forbid, that ever happens, you can't think about it. You have to react. So when we go through our classes, we do a lot of reaction drills, right? And these reaction drills test your response to a threat per my command. And it's important, because if it's a situation and that you're in and you hesitate on pulling that trigger before that other person gets to you, pulls the trigger, or shows a blade that he can cover distance before you can make your decision, that makes all the difference in the world. And it's really important to understand things like that. So when we go and teach, it's on a reactionary thing, and we have to drill it into you that you have to be prepared to do something like that, right? If you're in an imminent threat situation, you have to be ready to use that firearm as much as you don't want to, without hesitation. You have to identify your threat. You have to, there are a million things that will go through your head, right, when you are in an attack. And the decisions you make have to be the right ones. All right? If you guys have any questions, do me a favor, hit me up. I want you guys to learn and understand what we go through when we train. All right? Thanks.